Hello and happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's new episode of Breakfast with Boom. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL. And as you can tell by this big old cheese smile on my face, there is a lot to get excited about. I'm surrounded by my brothers. Everyone is back. We actually might have Infinite Umbra joining us to kind of, round out the panel. We have one massive topic that we're going to get into. And of course, that is the Xbox Developers Direct. There's a lot of secrecy. We got some new information, ladies and gentlemen, from John of Xbox Era, from Jez Corden of Windows Central, one half of the Xbox 2 podcast with the man with a million, Randolph Thor 19. He's making the rounds. He's doing his Jez-like behavior, making fun and poking and suggesting and, fanning the flames of rumors. So we're going to get into what they had to say, but we know at least 3 of the games. They're all bangers, ladies and gentlemen. They're all in Xbox Game Pass day and date. There is, of course, and we gotta, again, the community has been just absolutely amazing. Epic Treasure, ET as she's known by Pong Soul, did something for us yesterday live on the air. I think she's actually a detective, probably a well better detective than I would have made. She happened to detect that if you look at the bottom of where the TV screen, where us only old people remember falling asleep in front of the TV, and it would actually pop up like that. There is a bunch of question marks that equate to the number 11. So there's been, again, I while I was cleaning the bathroom this morning, because again, folks, listen, I'm a podcaster 99% of the time, but I also have to take care of the house. I was doing the laundry, I was cleaning the bathroom, I'm taking the care of the house while Mrs. Boom is hard at work. Listen, they had a great show last night, PM into PM on Thursdays. You definitely should check it out if it's not already added to your rotation. They had a great show. It was a great listen, and it really made my housework go super quick. But enough of that shenanigans. Let's get into the panel introduction because we're going to have some fun here today. Silent Cypher, my brother from another, back in the chair. How you feeling, man? How was your holidays? Happy New Year.
Hey man, happy holidays. Happy holidays to everyone in the chat. Fuzzy, Cork, all you guys. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been, man. Yeah.
I'm doing good. I got that gross germ bug or whatever that was cruising around there for a week or
Did
two.
you really?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah,
dude.
so I'm on the mend, but you know what? Like I've got some time off from work, so I'm just kind of taking some time to recover, play some games, and
enjoy return. Recharge the battery, so to speak.
Yeah, but it's great to be back with you guys. I'm looking forward to talking about some stuff today that's not actually as salty as usual. So this will be a nice change of pace.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Korkenstein, another returning brother. How you feeling, man? Glad to know that you're not in the path of what's going on in LA. And obviously, listen, of course, we said it yesterday, and we'll say it again. Our hearts go out to everyone, and it is pretty incredible. And it's something that we've never seen. It is not the way 2025 was supposed to start, with the kind of horror that it was. Obviously, we had the incident in New Orleans where those people were killed by, unfortunately, it was deemed a terrorist incident. Now we have these wildfires. This is not how I was hoping 2025 would be, but I'm glad to know, Cork, that you're not in the path of this just madness.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate and everyone else for reaching out. Yeah, I'm safe right now. So luckily I'm not in the crazy path. My work is a little bit, it's getting a little closer and closer to my work. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, the air quality here is pretty bad for right now.
Mask up, brother. When you go out, wear a mask.
Yeah. At my work, we have to implement a N95 respirator and everything like that. So but yeah, I'm fine. I'm thankful for that. And yeah, it's going to be a good show. I'm really excited for the Dev Direct. Despite all the stuff that's happening for at least us as Xbox gamers right now, it looks like there's going to be some really awesome things coming out. I'm ready to dive into it.
Indeed. And Fuzzy Belvedere, one half of course, the Xbox lunch break special every Monday. And I'm already working on Monday's show. It's going to be great. Fuzzy, how you feeling, brother? Good morning.
Well, feeling great. Glad to be here with you guys. Glad we got Silent Cypher back and Corkenstein back. So, yeah, we're gonna have a good one. Xbox is already starting this 2025 off on a good foot, and it's always great to have a list or roadmap of games to guess of which one's going to make the show, as opposed to not having a roadmap at all. But
So wait a second. Hold on a second. Let me stop you in your tracks. Are you saying that a roadmap is good? Because if I recall, somebody in the chat the other day said they don't need a roadmap. Hashtag this isn't the MCU. I remember that. Well, but all jokes aside. Please
yeah, I mean,
continue.
it makes sense because the other roadmap is a bunch of movies and songs. But yeah, all things aside, we're gonna have some fun with this, and looking forward to the Dev Direct. And man, can't wait to get into this topic.
Well, listen, before we get, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to get everyone's thoughts. And the way we're going to do the show today, folks, is we're going to open up with our thoughts, our opinions, our excitement for the games that we know. Second half of the show, probably around the 45-minute mark, we're going to get into speculation town, which you all know that I am currently a co-mayor with Mav and Pong Soul. We're co-mayors of Speculation Town, where depending on what side of town you're on, some places have a lot of snow, and that would be for me and Mrs. Boom because we like the cold. And others would be like, well, like Pong, he likes cotton candy, he likes hot sun, and that's great. So that's why we're co-mayors, and we're going to have a good, fun time talking about what Jez Corden had to say because, again, traditionally, ladies and gentlemen, going back to, and they've only had 2 prior to this one of the Dev Directs, they've had 5 games shown off. 4 were first party. 1 was a partnered game. That is how it's gone for the one in 22. I mean, 23 and 24. Now we're in 25. We know 3 games and a mystery game. There is some suggestion from Jez Corden, and we'll pull his quote directly that there could in fact be a 5th game. And then we'll talk about what John from Xbox Era had to say in conjunction with that. But before we bring Silent Cypher in, would get his hot take. Will Broke Boy Lewis drops a very generous $2 super chat, and he says, "Great, our whole panel. Who's gonna steal my takes first?" And if I have to pick one, I'm sorry, Cork, you're under the bus, brother. You're gonna steal. There's no doubt about it. Oh wow, look at this. BT Maverick 707 Maverick. Thank you so much, brother. He has gifted 5 Double Barrel Gaming memberships to start off today. That is very kind of you and very generous. And you know what? Before we get into the topic, I do want to share something with you, fine folks. Again, I talked about it yesterday. It was a bit of a hint. I'm sorry if you're disappointed. That we got syndicated and we got picked up by Channel 4. No, that hasn't happened yet, but it might be. Well, maybe one day. I am proud to say that as of this morning, we were notified by YouTube that the channel has officially crossed 7 million views in just a pinch over 7 years. That is a big deal for us. Again, when you consider how small the channel is. I know that some people are like, oh, no, it's really not small. It's 15K. 7 million views for the size of the channel, it doesn't really match. But that we do put a lot of work into it. Again, we could technically be syndicated because we do put out 5 shows a week, Monday through Friday, and we very rarely miss a show. Usually it's a holiday. Even when I'm not feeling well, I still get over here, I grind, and then I'll go back and lie down or something. But listen, that's not the work. Yes, we put the work in. Yes, we do all the thumbnails, we do the advertising, we do we write up the scripts, we invite the panel members. But we would not be in this position if it wasn't for you. And I'm talking directly to the chat. If you're not here watching, we never get to this number. And to be quite honest and quite frank, when we first started this in 2017, I could have never imagined that we would be in this position where we would have 15,000 subscribers and 7 million views. Like it's crazy to be recognized by Bethesda, to be recognized by Microsoft and Xbox. We want to say a big thank you to everyone in the chat that consistently supports us and by views and clicks and likes, and of course, channel membership and super chats. So let's get, you know what? One more thing. Scott Woodford, who's been a channel member for 5 months, says this. Hello, happy Friday, fellows. I think the unnamed game is going to be great and something we didn't know we needed. That's a great point of view, Scott. I love it. Thank you so much for the support, brother. Silent Cypher, we knew that this Dev Direct was imminent, right? Now, we knew because we're just following the patterns. But as we got closer to the ending 2024, we had folks, people that we trust in journalism, like Jez Corden, specifically talk about, hey, there could be something happening. Now, whether he actually knew or he didn't, whether he was being facetious or coy, I don't know. But in Jez Corden, I trust. So here it is. It gets announced. South of midnight, we're definitely gonna get a release date, right? Now, early suggestions and rumors is that it's going to be an April release, which would be dope because that would obviously be right after Avowed, which is February. Now, there still leaves open for March, but considering the size of Avowed as a game, that's actually some breathing room considering what's coming out in this year that's not Xbox first party. Then we got Doom the Dark Ages. Now, there is some rumors floating around, no confirmation yet, that could be May of this year. And of course, that would be 3 games in 4 months. And well, there is a 4th mystery game here, which we were going to break down and try to guess what it is on the back after the show. Let's get your hot take on how Xbox is starting off the year. And I think that there's something to be marveled at here. They close out 24 with Indiana Jones and Stalker 2. 2 highly reviewed games, 2 amazing experiences, 2 Xbox console exclusives, right? They roll into this year. We have Jason Ronald show up at CES, and we learn that the plan for Xbox and their handhelds is potentially going to be 2026 with the new console, but every device starting this year, according to Jason Ronald, is going to be and act like an Xbox. And now you have this. You have Avowed confirmed for next month, which is only a couple of weeks away. And now you have the Dev Direct. I'm telling you right now, Xbox is hitting on all cylinders. Let's get your hot take.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little different than the cadence that we were originally hearing, right? Because the idea was that they wanted to hit one big release per quarter. So to have 3 of those in 4 months is, I mean, it's like a silly amount of wealth for the gaming side of things. I think that's really good for them. They've needed it for a long time. This last year, we started to see the change in trajectory for Xbox. There's been a lot of years where they were trying to play catch up, right?
Yep.
And it seems like now they've gotten things to a pretty good spot where it's better aligned. They're running into a situation now where you could actually delay some games by a month or 2 here or there to give each game breathing room and still meet that 1 a quarter cadence, which is a great place for them to be in, considering we talked about roadmaps earlier. They're the only one with a roadmap at the moment. Now, granted, Nintendo's got their own thing. They're off doing Nintendo because Nintendo's Nintendo. But between the 2 big players, other than that, they're the only one with a roadmap right now that's out there that actually has stuff coming that we know about. They have tangibles, right? That you can't say the other side has. Like, when I saw that they were making a TV series or a movie or whatever about Horizon, I was like, oh, good. The game was already gaming NyQuil, so now I need a movie to put me asleep. Like, why are we doing this? So it's good to see a game development company or a company focused in the gaming market to be focusing on games, not just a bunch of movies. I find it funny that, we went from back in the Xbox One days of Xbox being like TV, 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 and that whole thing, and people completely lambasting them for it. And now Sony's doing it, and it's really quiet for some
Crickets
reason.
is what it is.
It's
Yeah.
weird how that happens. It's interesting how that judgmental pendulum is swinging right now. But I'm I'm stoked for what they've announced so far. I think for the developer direct, what we're going to end up seeing is going to be pretty good. I mean, they started finally coming out there and trying to be like temper expectation, but I don't think anyone's going to temper their expectations at this point, because it's not like the situations we ran into previously. We're not getting constant delays on the roadmap. We're not getting games pushed months and months and months. Something like Avowed has already been pushed, and it's been pushed so it could actually release in a really good state. That thing's almost here. Like, I totally forgot that game's even coming out until you mentioned that it's coming out this soon. Um, that's jarring to me. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to catch up on the games they're gonna be releasing. So that's a great place for us to be in. That's a great place for the consumer in Game Pass side of things. I think the mystery, I'll be interested in seeing what your guys' opinions are when we talk about that later on. But as far as like seeing the stuff from Doom, seeing Compulsion, I'm excited to just see what they've been cooking, because they've given us small glimpses, but obviously we haven't had a deep dive on these things, and this is going to be very interesting. The mystery game has me very curious at this point. Like, I'm really excited about like Doom personally, and, Midnight, but at the same time, I'm just like, okay, well, what are you working on right now that you're not telling us about just yet? It could have the potential to be a really big thing. Maybe it's a new IP in a familiar universe. Maybe it's a return from a universe or something. But the dates and stuff, like you were mentioning, with Midnight being, you said April, I think.
Yeah, that's the rumor. April.
If that's the case, if that rumor is true, like, man, like I didn't expect it to be that soon, honestly. So I'm excited about that alone. But to
You
have
know what?
Doom
Interestingly,
focus,
though, if I may interject, if
sure,
you've been keeping your ear to social media, they have been showing clip after clip after clip after clip, and it's been a lot. It hasn't been like, oh, hey, remember us? Look, it's every other day they're putting a game. Now, granted, it's not a 30-minute trailer of the game. It's 30 seconds. It's 48 seconds. It's a minute. But
but
they've
that
been doing that quite a bit. That kind of tells me the game is done, dude.
yeah, that shows you that they're confident about where they're standing
Yes.
right now. So that's great for us. Like, it doesn't have to be a 30-minute deep dive or anything. Honestly, probably the less we see, but in small tidbits like that, the better, because we don't want things to be ruined, obviously. And there's the possibility of oversaturation also. So it's good to just give like a little bite here and there, just to keep people interested as you lead up to that release. But yeah, I'm excited. I think where they're at right now, the roadmap moving forward is impressive. And I'm excited to see how this year shakes out, because it's probably going to be kind of messy, and there's probably going to be a lot of shade thrown um, due to the circumstances.
Well, are you implying that PlayStation's best games in 25 are Xbox first party produced games? Because that's what it sounds like to me, and I think you're
What?
onto something
No.
there.
Hey, by the way, if anyone missed this, jump onto your Xbox and purchase Death Stranding, which is now on Xbox. In case you missed that previously, that's available on Xbox now. One of the ones that they touted over the Xbox ecosystem for a while. That's on there too. And what, MLB is going to be on Xbox again this year, right?
Oh yeah, Game Pass too, as well, but
Game
not in the PlayStation Plus Premium. Interestingly enough, I listen. I know we're being silly, but listen, you got to call it like you see it. Korkenstein, let's bring you in on this, brother. Look, so there might be some people in here suggesting, well, how boom do you think they're going to put these 3 games, potentially 4 games, before June? Well, here's my mindset for that. The way it has played out in prior years is the Dev Direct is basically setting up the next 6 months for Xbox as a platform, which is why they pick January. So from January to June, there's a 6-month block that has that these games will usually show up in. The Expedition 33 has a release time frame of spring. So that could be in April, that could be May, right? One of those months. Could be March. That could be the big March game, right? We don't know. We know that February is already locked and loaded with Avowed, right? Now, again, rumors, South of Midnight, potentially April. Doom Eternal. Doom the Dark Ages is potentially May. We get right into Showcase midway through June. June then levies what they're going to do for the remainder of the year up into the holiday. That means you're going to get a Call of Duty trailer in June, and whatever else is going to come out. You'll get what I think you're going to get is the Fable Dev Direct deep dive right before or after Showcase. And it's probably going to be after Showcase. That gets potentially a November, even December. Because again, if it gets into December, it doesn't get, the nomination from the Game Awards. I actually don't think that Microsoft gives a shit anymore. Pardon my French. I don't think they care. Because no matter what, the deck is already stacked up against them. And even if they have the banger of all bangers of the universe, Jeff Keighley is never going to allow an Xbox game to win Game of the Year. It has never won one to this day. I don't think that's ever going to change. And not because Sony doesn't have a great game or Nintendo doesn't have a great game. I just don't think it's going to happen. Maybe that's me being biased, whatever. But let's rewind this, Korkenstein. Let's talk about Doom. Let's talk about South of Midnight. Let's talk about Expedition 33. And we will get into the mystery games because there might be 5 games, ladies and gentlemen. And Pong So brought up a great point, which we will elaborate on second half of show. But Korkenstein, what a great way for Xbox to open up the 2025 campaign. Let's get your thoughts on the announcement and the games that we know are coming to this thing.
Yeah, I think this is a great way to start off 2025 Xbox. They hit this, kind of stride two years ago when they started doing this. It was such a big thing. The Dev Direct was such a huge success. And now they've just been starting off the year with a Dev Direct, and it's worked well for them. I don't think this is going to be any different. I think this is going to be such a really great showcase. I don't think all of these games. I'm gonna kind of maybe be a little cynical.
Please
on
push
this,
back if you think so. Yes, absolutely.
I don't think these games are all going to release in the first half of the year. Just based off of the previous history, we had Avowed that was shown last year. Which was supposed to be August, and then Indiana Jones, which we know December. So I think maybe some of these might. I think maybe some of the big surprises Jez Corden might be talking about is maybe an imminent release or maybe another shadow drop possibly of like a smaller title. That could be the unannounced, which we'll talk about later. But who knows? I know we have Avowed on February, so I don't think they are going to try and get something out before then to take away from that, maybe like a bigger game like South of Midnight or Doom or the Claire game. I think if I had to guess, I'd say South of Midnight in May. Actually, no. Well, yeah, I would say probably South of Midnight, maybe March or April. Doom. That's kind of a hard one. Maybe a little bit more closer to Halloweenish. I think that'd be a good release schedule.
Sure. Yeah.
Kind of push that out maybe August, September-ish. The other one I'm not sure of. That could probably hit anytime. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what it looks like. But it looked great at the showcase. I'm actually very, very excited for this. It had gorgeous UI elements and everything like that. But yeah, I think we're gonna see a good smattering of games for the year that Xbox is working on. I'm extremely hyped. Doom's definitely going to be. I mean, just that showcase. They're showing him grinding up the skull, and then it's shooting out the multiple skull fragments at people. I'm hoping that releases sooner than later. That could be a game that's probably coming. Maybe I might have it wrong, but I think South of Midnight is ready. From all the stuff that they've been doing, they've been hitting it hard for PR and like getting out the info. Because remember, what was it last 2 months ago? Was it now already that they had that preview where they took people out to show them the game? Now we're seeing new gameplay elements. Now we're seeing it in the dev direct. The hype train left the station for this game. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be an imminent release, maybe a month or two after Avowed. So it'd be interesting to see what's going to happen. Like I said earlier, Xbox has been firing just on all cylinders recently. They ended the year extremely well with Indiana Jones. I think the big thing the big thing about this is going to be, we're going to see some really great stuff, but I think the mystery title might be a big one that people might not see coming. Or maybe it might be, like you said, like Silent Cypher said, an old IP. But again, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Well, so while you were talking, first of all, you're making a lot of sense. Like again, where I'm coming from, and I'm not pushing back on you because I do think you make great points. But I think that we are and I say we, Xbox is in a particular situation where they literally have so many games ready to go that they could very well be moving forward. Like, we know that they have 30 plus studios. They're working with dozens of other studios. They're working with IO Interactive. They have a James Bond game. We know that there's a bunch of other studios that they're working with behind the scenes for games that have not even been announced. Some have been announced that we haven't seen in years, Contraband being one of them. So they are loaded with games. I think we are potentially coming up where they're going to have so many games ready to go that they might actually use Dev Direct in January for first 6 months of year, June event, which is going to be big, expected to be very big, even bigger, Cork, than last year's that we both attended.
Yeah.
And do the second half of the year. And again, it's just speculation, but great points all around. Fuzzy Belvedere, let's bring you in on the conversation. The Dev Direct, we all kind of knew it was happening. We had heard rumblings the week before. You and I talked about it. I had made a mock-up thumbnail. I was half right on it because I still think that one of the and again, we'll get into it more specifically second half of the show. That what I think, I don't know what I think the other mystery game is, or the fifth game is going to be. This is super exciting. Like I said yesterday, and yesterday I was overly hyped, and I'm just as hyped today as I was yesterday. I personally, Fuzzy, cannot gather or understand how you as a gamer, and again, I don't care where you plug your controller into. If you're a PlayStation guy or gal, awesome. If you love Nintendo as much as I do, even better. If you're an Xbox gamer, awesome. PC gamer, you're welcome. Let's hang out. My thing is this: as a gamer, not a specific branded gamer, just as a gamer, I don't understand how you can't look at this event and be like, my God, I should be playing on that grass because that grass is really green. Let's get your thoughts.
Well, at the end of 24, I said, we're not ready for 25. And when I saw the thumbnail for the Dev Direct, I was like, that's a little bit less boxes than what I thought they would show. Because let's not forget, like you said, there's a lot of things that they've been working with, second and third party stuff as far as behind the scenes. But like, I'll just quickly go over what I thought the Dev Direct would be. And I'll give a couple of hints of what could be that fourth block, but I knew we were getting Avowed. I didn't think it would show in the showcase or in the Dev Direct because it's already been done. I figured at most we'll see like maybe some more third-person footage or something along those lines, or maybe there's a pre-order bonus or something like that if you get the deluxe edition or something. So I figured maybe they show that. Towerborn's another one that it's in early access on PC, and it's supposed to be coming to early access or to at least to Game Pass early part of this year. So I figured maybe that gets squeezed in, or maybe it gets like a stealth drop type of announcement where it's like, oh, playable today. And there's another title that's kind of in that same boat with 33 Immortals. They did a lot of their testing last year, pushed the servers as much as they could with having 33 people in the same instance, and working on or tweaking on a few things as far as the gear and the difficulty level when it's up, when you have like 33 players and such. But I expect that's going to be prior to June as well. But I kind of figure South of Midnight comes before Avowed. Like, I know it sounds weird considering that Avowed has like a date announced. It's probably been ready for a couple of months now, but they're still doing their last bit of polishing. And I have a gut feeling that we'll see the 60 frames at launch. I could be wrong, but I think at least the Series X will be able to do it. No problems about it as far as at launch. And then maybe the Series S gets a patch later. But in any event, I was thinking South of Midnight comes a little bit before. Like, that could be another stealth drop where it's like, oh, play it at the end of this showcase or at the end of the Dev Direct, downloadable now type of thing. But Avowed for next month. The Claire Obscure Expedition 33, I kind of figured was after Avowed, so figure March, April, somewhere in that area.
Give both of them a chance to breathe because they're going to be big RPGs, dude.
Yeah. And then I figured Doom Dark Ages is either mid to late May, maybe just before the showcase in June, to kind of get it out of the way for whatever is in store for the June showcase. But I kind of figured these are the games that are pre-June that we would see. And then there was, maybe the thought of like, well, maybe Final Fantasy 16 makes an appearance because, Square Enix made a guest appearance last year with the was it Visions of Mana and things like that. So maybe they make an appearance with Final Fantasy 16. Or we get, I know some people were thinking like maybe a Sega title gets announced at this one, but I don't, since they had their Like a Dragon, deal yesterday, I don't think we see Sega at this one. But let's not forget, they've been working on a lot of the back compat for Activision. Now, does that fit in the Dev Direct? Maybe not, but I kind of expected that we would see a ton of those announcements here, probably within the next month or so. But that's what I had as a, pretty solid pre-June, this Dev Direct type of deal. Now, Jason Ronald, love seeing his tweets every so often on Twitter and even on Blue Sky. Last time he made an announcement of his most anticipated game, it was on ILP back in, 2020 or 2021?
I remember. Yep.
And his most anticipated game, he couldn't talk about it, but he eventually confirmed that it was Forza Horizon 5. Well, he's out there on Twitter and Blue Sky saying something similar, like, can't wait for this deeper dive and four of my most anticipated
games.
Could, Forza Horizon 6 be one of those one of those blocks? I don't know. I kind of always believed that it would be a 2026 title. I've said this numerous times. 2026 is the year of the sixes. Like, I figure GTA 6 gets pushed back. E-Day to me is what I assumed was Gear 6, but not actual Gear 6, but that would fall in line with that. So that I figure is 2026. I figure Forza Horizon 6 would be 2026, and the dark horse would be Elder Scrolls 6. Stands a chance, but we'll see. But I figured those were the games that would be in 2026. So Forza Horizon possibly getting announced now, especially considering Forza Horizon 5 changed up their holiday flow, which usually when they change up their holiday flow, they're about to announce the next title. So very much could see Forza Horizon 6. I think it's a little early for it because I usually expect that after June. But hey, if it's ready, it's ready. And, why hold on to that card, for months and months kind of thing when you still have a ton of other games that you're about to announce or that could be dropping. Like, there's Everwild is one of those that people are, starting to talk about because Rare made a post at the end of the year. They've been silent other than for Sea of Thieves for the longest time. So with them making a reference to Everwild and, Jez making a report like 6 months ago about how it's in a good state, and I have a feeling that they've gotten everything sorted as far as, figuring out what the gameplay loop would be. So that could be the game. But I kind of think maybe Everwild they save for Gamescom and then have Fable as the end of the June showcase deal, or maybe those two flip spots, Everwild at the June showcase and then, Fable at Gamescom kind of thing. But replaces another one that's going to slot in somewhere this year. But I think that might be after June. And then we can't forget about Outer Worlds 2, which blew our minds at the Game Awards, which I think that's the second half, but
it has to be.
Who knows?
It's again, they're starting to stack up the RPGs. And look, I don't know about you fine folks. I know Umbra's in the chat. We're gonna get to him in a hot second. Him and I play almost identical. And your 30-hour experience is probably a 70-hour experience for us because I love looking for everything everywhere. And I love folks, you understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just want to put on your headphones, you shut the lights, and you just sit on the couch. And whatever game that you're playing, it could be Starfield, it could be Avowed, it could be whatever. These massive games, at least for me, I get enveloped into the character, into the world, into the side missions, where if someone is looking for a particular item in the game, I want to go find that item for that person because I like playing the hero. I know it sounds ridiculous. And that is, again, we're coming up to a point where there are just too many freaking games. That's really what it comes down to. But hey, Sean is here, 786, my brother from another. Sean, DM me, brother. You got to let me know your schedule. I got to get you and Dirt on. Probably prime time would be the best spot for you guys because it's at night. We can, you guys like to curse. We'll let our her down, if you will. But Sean, my brother, thank you so much for being here as always. Big shout out to, damn, this is crazy, folks. We got 911 people watching live. That is amazing. Thank you so much. And of course, that is not all from YouTube. That is YouTube, that is Twitter, and that is Twitch. We actually have maybe 2 or 3 people that actually watch on Twitch. Hey, welcome, Twitch watchers. But good stuff all around. I mean, listen, everyone has knocked it out of the park. This has been a great way to start the show. Infinite Umbra, happy new year, my brother. We missed you on Tuesday, but you're here. We got to get your hot take. I know that you and Daniel McGee broke it down last night on The Fix, which, of course, folks, you should be tuning into every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good morning, Umbra. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. Boom. Good morning, brothers. How are you all today?
We're doing good. Xbox players and gamers and Xbox Game Pass subscribers flying high by the seat of their pants. Let's get your hot take on the announcement. And then second half, because you weren't here, we're going to get into speculation town on what the 4th and possibly 5th game could be.
Won't you take me to speculation time? I have to say, just throw it out there really quick. I've never had such an outpouring of love from everybody giving me good mornings and wishing me good mornings and such as I've seen today. I'm like, wow. Oh man, look at everybody.
Well deserved, kind sir. You are a fine member of this community, and we appreciate the work that you do.
Oh man, I feel so loved. I mean, man, I feel special right now. Listen, so the first topic here is what we think. Well, not speculation yet. So what's the excitement? Is that the case for this right here?
Yeah, that's the case. Yeah. Just want to get your thoughts on the 3 games that were announced. And again, we say 3 games. Yes, there are 3 games announced, but we also have Jason Ronald showing up to CES. We as gamers, not Xbox gamers, but as gamers, the handheld device that you have, whether it be a Lenovo or a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally or whatever, is soon and potentially very soon going to look and play like an Xbox, right? They're going to merge Windows and Xbox, and they're going to kind of put Windows into the corner where it belongs, and it's going to function like your Xbox, right? You have that.
Mhm.
Avowed is a couple of weeks away. Now we have this direct, and now we're starting to hear rumors that not only are we going to get release dates on these games, there could be a February Avowed release. There could be an April release with South of Midnight. There could even be a Doom the Dark Ages in May leading into Showcase, which is expected, and I'm hearing, folks, is going to be even bigger than last year. And I don't understand how that's even possible outside of 2 new pieces of hardware they may show in June for 2026. And that is the new Xbox, and that is the new handheld by Xbox. But please, let's get your thoughts.
Yeah, so I'm of the mind that I don't want to overhype like my excitement for it, because then it's like, oh, guess what, folks? We're bringing Doom 82 to you. Like, okay, all right, that's cool. I don't know, Or here's Unreal Tournament 99. I was like, okay, I played.
But if it was done in Unreal Engine 5, you would give that a
I absolutely would swallow my words here and be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Xbox. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite. Yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't hype it up just yet, but I would say that normally. But then you see other people who are in the know, from our good brother Jez to
John from
to
Xbox
John
Era.
Clark.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you got them saying this, and it's like, I hope nobody spoils it. I'm like, okay, this must be something spicy right here. So now my excitement has tuned up a bit, So actually, I am pretty excited. And I was kind of, I feel like I've been kind of in this how do I put this? This kind of, I don't know, numbness to gaming news for now, because it hasn't seemed like it's been anything that's been major that we didn't know about. So I'm kind of like, okay, we got this announced for the developer direct. Cool. All right, let's see what we got. And it's games that we are already aware of course, Doom the Dark Ages. Of course, we're going to see more, which I'm excited to see more of that. South of Midnight, we've seen some newer snippets of that over the week. So I'm like, okay, it's cool. We'll see a little bit more. And and of course, Expedition 33, which I'm very excited for. I'm sure you all as well. So, and Unreal Engine 5, of course. But
yeah, of course.
So I'm seeing all that. I'm like, okay, cool. And then the mystery game is like, all right, now could we get a possible drop? That's exciting. I saw some people in the comments and such saying something. Well, I saw it on Twitter too, where they were like, could it be Forza Horizon 6 or something like that? I'm like, I don't know. That's a little spicy for the developer direct. I feel like that's something you'll see in June. You know what I mean? Probably with like some type of sports car on the stage or something. Microsoft do. So I don't know if it'll be something that big. What I'm guessing, if I I don't want to go to that yet because we haven't got to Speculation Town.
We'll get there. We will get there sooner.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet. I'll just say that my excitement for it now is if I had to rate it out of a number, I would say I'm at an 8 out of 10, just to see what that mystery game could be. And I do want to see all these games, shine and show us their release dates and things like that. So that is cool too. Of course, speaking of that, I heard you mention Avowed, and we know that's coming this year. Outer Worlds 2. I'm surprised those are not on this list of things to show. You would probably expect that, right? So I'm guessing then that those come a little bit later than we expected. That's the only thing I can rationale on this. So, But yeah, excited to see what they have to show us for us on that as far as that goes. Just kind of surprised they don't have Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 involved in this, because they are coming this year as well. Crazy good year ahead of us though, guys, man.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers, to be quite honest with you. Again, it's we're at a point where Xbox didn't used to have games. Now they have too many games. I mean, it's literally, you got to remember, Assassin's Creed Shadow, thank goodness, was moved to March 20th. Got out of the way of February, which is going to be ridiculous. February is, I mean, again, I know there's a lot of people very excited. I'm not, but I'm very excited for other people who are excited. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That's going to be a massive game. The first one it's considered a cult classic. to many gamers. Not for me, folks, and that's awesome, and that is okay. But if you're excited for it, that's a big freaking game. That's huge. And again, we got to remember, Xbox themselves has a ton of stuff coming out. You got to remember, a couple of guys mentioned it already. 33 Immortals may not be a AAA monster release, but that is going to be a multiplayer game that people are going to latch onto and really enjoy. You also have Towerborn. Now, granted, maybe it isn't your bag. Maybe Castle Crashers you didn't like. Maybe you didn't grow up with the Final Fights and the TMNT in time. I grew up with those, and I like side-scrolling beat 'em ups. But this takes it to 11 because you can change your armor. You can build your character. You can learn new moves. It sounds, and of course, I'm talking about Towerborn. Towerborn is going to be coming out this year as well. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that is coming to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass that we just are not going to have enough time to play. But listen, I want to get us into the second half of the show, folks. That is where we're going to walk into and quite enjoy Speculation Town. Now, Silent Cypher, I want to go to you right back to you first. So there's been a lot of conversation between Jez Corden, the community, John Clark or John from Xbox Era, back and forth. And one of the tweets from Jez Corden, and again, like I said, I say this, if you don't believe Jez, you don't like his work, I hear you. I'm not going to fight you on it, but in Jez Corden, I trust. And he basically said this Xbox Developer Direct might be a lot bigger than Microsoft is leading on to. Now, I mean, it's vague, sure, but listen, he went back and forth with John Clark. John goes on to say, I sincerely hope the quote-unquote surprise Xbox game isn't a ruined reveal-wise in the next 2 weeks, because being surprised and delighted is super fun for everyone involved. Of course, he's talking about the fans and the developers. Jez goes on to say, I agree. I won't be posting any spoilers, although if what I've heard is true, I'm hyped AF at my end. LOL. So, the fires are burning here, right? Now, we have heard, and again, it exists. Oblivion remake in Unreal Engine 5, right? They've been reporting on it. Tom Warren, Tom Henderson, Jez Corden. There's been a lot of conversation the last couple of days, even the end of last week, getting into what this could be. Now, Oblivion is going to be a multi-plat more than likely because, well, Oblivion was a multi-plat. This is being done. This potentially has the chance of being a remake on the level of Final Fantasy VII, right? On a level of Resident Evil 2, where it is the original game, but it's not, right? That could be one of the mystery titles. Well, here's another one. Now, granted, they did say new game from a studio. They're going to be visiting a studio that's going to be showing off a new game. A lot of people like Pongsol and Mav seem to think that it is going to be something with Square Enix. I don't think so, because again, if you just go back to the last two directs, they've had 4 first-party games, 1 partnered game. Well, we already know 2 first-party games, and they have 1 partnered game in Expedition 33. That leaves at least 1. We know there's going to be another one there, but there is rumor and there is talk from Jez Corden about potentially a 5th game being here. And again, if Pongsol mentioned it last night, if you look at and actually I think Fuzzy, you mentioned it. If you look at the way that the graphic is, it looks like there's enough room to add a 5th box, just like they've done before. Silent Cypher, again, could this be the Marcus Phoenix collection? Could we finally get a Gears drop as the 5th game? Is it going to be Oblivion? What could it be? Let's get your thoughts, your expectations, and of course, take a fine trip through Speculation Town.
Well, I gotta say, there's a lot of smoke around potentially being the Oblivion remake. So I would say that's probably a fairly safe bet. Um, but we don't always like safe bets, right? We like to venture into the speculation a little bit. And I think it would be really cool if we finally saw Splinter Cell. Now, is that realistic? No. Like, let's be honest, Ubisoft has been in a place for a while now. They've been kind of on a struggle in different areas of their business. So we'll see. I I would really, really hope that that were the case, but I don't know. I get nervous that that thing's eventually just going to get canned because I feel like Ubisoft has been in a weird place with their
They have,
projects and
dude.
stuff.
Yeah.
But I would point it towards Oblivion. That would be my guess. If we weren't going that route, if we wanted to throw a little more speculation in there, maybe we finally see some actual footage or a trailer for the Hitman game, or sorry, the 007 game from the
Oh
Hitman
wow,
team.
dude. Yep.
I could see that because they've been working together on what, the Project Dragon stuff, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's Project Dragon. Who knows? But those are a couple that I would like to see personally. The Marcus Phoenix collection, I am excited about, but I feel like I, I keep wondering now, like if that thing's actually gonna come out. Be- because like we've been talking about that thing for what, 2 years, something like that, and it has not shown up yet. And I kind of wonder, like, I would imagine it exists because why not, give those old games a gloss up? They could use it for sure. The first one definitely benefited from it. The other games were a little bit closer on, so I don't know if you need to do that as much towards the end of the 360 gen. That still held up okay with like Judgment. But yeah, I mean, it's got to come out, right? Like we got
Yeah.
to see this thing, and maybe what they end up doing, uh, which would make a lot of sense for them, is release that Marcus Phoenix collection right as we're going into the new Gears, so that way you've got, hey, remember the story so far, play that, and now go into the new game. I could see them doing something like that. Maybe put them like 6 months between each other so people have enough time to digest the old games also. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I just want Splinter Cell.
I
But if
mean,
it,
I've been saying Splinter Cell for like last 7 E3s, 7 years in a row. I've
yeah,
been wrong. It's
yeah,
just ridiculous. We definitely need a new Splinter Cell. And when I say new, give me the OG Splinter Cell
oh yeah,
redone in modern graphics and control, and that's fine. You walk
yeah.
away
It's
from it.
it's
Yes,
been long enough. It's been long enough. The original game came out what, 2001, 2002.
it's
Um,
been a minute, dude. Yeah.
So it's been plenty of time. We talk about remakes and stuff like that all the time. And if the game's only like 3 or 4 years old, you don't need a remake or a remaster for it. We know who we're talking about on that one. But Splinter Cell has been long enough at this point. Like, even if you just did a remaster of that one, and there was talk about Ironside, like Ironside had done more audio recordings. And so
This
you
is
got to
you're
figure
talking about a
that,
couple of years ago too. Remember,
yeah,
he actually
that was a
confirmed he
few
was
years back.
recording lines. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I could easily see that being a case where, they could go back, they could remaster, remake that original game, bring up all the assets to like today's quality, and just have him do new recordings, because the old recordings of course are going to sound a little bit antiquated, like they're going to sound a little old. But if you got him in for new recordings, which they did, that'd be a good way for them to do it, and it wouldn't be a full redevelopment. So maybe that would be doable. We'll see.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of excitement around what this mystery game or games might in fact be. Corkenstein, let's bring you in on this. Look, again, is there any likelihood that the Gears collection or the Marcus Phoenix collection shows up here? Probably not. Do I know it exists? Well, I was told as much, and I think it makes sense. And look, there are a lot of people that never played Gears, right? On PC, you don't have you have the first Gears, but you don't have Gears 2 and 3. This would be an opportunity to bring the Gears of War trilogy to PC and to many Xbox players that may not have been around during the Xbox 360 era. So, I mean, listen, there's always a chance. The Forza Horizon 6 thing, that would literally just break the internet because, again, we're all wondering where they're going to go with it. We're all hoping it's Japan. And they've been cooking. They've been cooking for a while. Obviously, the Oblivion remake, and again, it's not a remaster. It is a full-on remake in the same lines of Final Fantasy VII, but with Unreal Engine 5. That would bring down the house. But again, there is a fourth one there. Now, listening to Pong and Mav last night on their show, Mav said that the 11 letters equaled Netherrealm. And Netherrealm has been working on multiple projects. Now, like I said, they normally only do one partnered game. And he brought up something that got me super hyped. He said, what if the team that came back, Iron Galaxy, to work on Killer Instinct 2, it was first front loaded with Netherrealm and they're collaborating on a Mortal Kombat or even just working with Iron Galaxy on the next Killer Instinct? Because again, going back all the way to 2015, you remember Phil Spencer and him had a public conversation where he said specifically, Ed Boon, he would love to work on a Killer Instinct, but it would have to be an exclusive. And you can go find the tweet. It's still available. Phil Spencer said, I'd love that. And he's been teasing for years. If you remember, there was supposed to be a skin from Killer Instinct. I don't remember the one of the characters' names, the guy with the hatchets. He was supposed to find his way into Mortal Kombat, and something happened where they didn't do the skin. That would have been made amazing, right? So is there a chance that there is some sort of a collab going on between Netherrealm? I mean, there were a lot of people came up with a bunch of really good guesses. I want to get your take on this, Korkenstein.
Wait, Chief Thunder? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
Chief Thunder it was a rumor that his skin was going to be found those way into Mortal Kombat. I don't know which one it was. I think it was either 10 or 1, and it just never transpired. So that would have been pretty freaking dope. But I don't know. What do you think, Korkenstein? What's your best guess? And what are your thoughts on, John and Jez going back and forth? Because again, if we go back to what Jez Corden said, this Xbox Developer Direct might be a lot bigger than Microsoft is leading on to.
No, definitely. I think they got some big stuff cooking here for the speculation, and I think Pong and Mav are definitely right. If you look at the picture, they're not the games; they're the studios. So it's probably safe to realize, or it's probably safe to assume that whatever that 11th or that 11 characters are, and that fourth game is going to be a studio. So it would be interesting to see what that is. I think I think somebody also took the picture and kind of like, I don't know if they photoshopped it or whatever, but they kind of, I think, try to like reduce some of the, because you could kind of see some graininess to it, like you said, like the old TVs and stuff like that, and it looked to be like the Iron Studio logo underneath it. So I don't know. So I mean,
I love it. Don't you love these sleuths of the internet?
Yeah,
I mean, it's so amazing.
Yeah, so I like I said, I don't know if the picture's real or not. I tried to find it again. I can't remember exactly where I saw it. So that is a possibility. I thought it was Dishonored 3. That's 11 characters.
Oh, wow.
So I thought it was maybe Dishonored 3. who knows what it might be. I mean, this is an unannounced game. There's Project Kestrel from ZeniMax Studios online. That's supposed to be in
Great
development.
point.
I was going to bring up as well the 007 game that's been long time rumored. There's the Wonder Woman game. What else? Yeah, there's just so much out there right now that we don't know. I think the surprise 5th game, it was supposed to be released in beginning of 2023 last year. Ended up getting pushed. It's been 6 years in development. I think it's Silksong. That's also supposed to be coming to Game Pass as well, day one.
Yeah.
It's been over 6 years in development now. It was supposed to come back, like I said, in 2023. They delayed it again. It's ready. I think, a full year on development for Silksong. I'm not sure why it's being delayed. But I definitely think it's ready. It's time for it to come out. I think everybody, and just imagine, like, that would be a mind-blowing, hey, guess what? Shadow drop. Silksong. Boom. January 23rd. It's a very far different game than Avowed, so it wouldn't eat into that consumer base, those kind of gamers. I don't know. I know that's some big hopium, I guess you could say.
I love hopium. It's delicious.
Yeah. I like you two guys picks Splinter Cell or in this case, I guess Silksong. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want Splinter Cell as well. I don't know, with the recent delay and the talk of sales. I don't know. It kind of killed. I thought maybe it might be 2, but it kind of killed it for me. I don't know if Ubisoft is ready to start announcing more games yet. But who knows? Maybe they might, just to boost their catalog a bit, to make them more, enticing. Oh, Splinter Cell's coming back. See all that hype from everybody, and then it just makes them that much more of a better buy for whoever wants to pick them up, if they are selling. But that's a different topic. Could be Oblivion remake as well. I thought that that was leaked at the FTC, I believe, or no, it was the leak before the FTC, wasn't it? Where they had all of their stuff leaked.
Yep.
That was like, yeah. So it could be that. Gears of War collection, maybe. That's also been rumored. I've said it before. I think that's going to PlayStation. I know I'm going to get tomatoes thrown at me right now, the virtual tomatoes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that if it happens, it's going to be a bit disappointing, because that's one of the big 3. I don't think they need to, but I see that you're not wrong for suggesting it, because the way things are going, even though we don't want to admit it, things are changing. Xbox is going to take all the arrows first, and that's what's potentially going to happen. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so, just because it's a great way to get people in other ecosystems, which they're trying to attract, into the Xbox ecosystem. And then, I think that's where they'll leave it at. Just the collection. You're only going to play the old games. You want newer games? Got to come to Xbox to play them. So I think that's, I don't know, but there's so many things that, like you said, it's Xbox now has too many games. It went from this narrative of Xbox has no games, and they're like, all right, I see you MFers. Here we go. You want some games? Bam, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get this, and it's just this slate. It's gonna be interesting to see. Yep, there's the tomatoes. We'll be interesting. I think it's Dishonored 3, but the Killer Instinct remake, I think that's a good one too. Whatever it is, it's gonna be a developer. I think that's gonna be announced. Could be Toys for Bob. Not 11 characters.
That's a great pick. Yeah, dude. They've been working. Remember, they've been working on something for a minute. So,
So who knows? Like I said, there's going to be plenty of stuff there for everybody to jump in and kind of see, kind of have a good time. Like I said, Xbox is going to start this year strong. So I don't doubt that whatever it is, it's going to be big.
Yeah, I mean, Navy Shadow actually had said a game here. I'm trying to find what he said. Where is it? My God, this chat is just. Hold on a sec. I gotta find it, because it was a good pick. Where are you, Navy Shadow? First of all, welcome. Okay, now he said 100 Star Games, formerly Rocksteady, showing their game. I mean, that's definitely a possibility. People Can Fly are working on an Xbox exclusive. We don't know what that is. Is that the Gears of War collection? I don't know. I mean, you would think. But let's bring in Fuzzy Belvedere on this one. Fuzzy, again, I know that you're going to you're going to go right back to potentially Forza Horizon 6, and that's a great pick because again, if you look back to Jason Ronald and his hints earlier on ILP a couple of years ago, he did say that, and boom, Forza Horizon 5. So Forza Horizon 6, they've been cooking that for a while, but there's no doubt about it. But any other picks that you think that might be, and even more so, are we safe to admit that there actually might be a fifth game? Because I know a lot of people are like, well, they 4 is enough, but if we just follow the patterns, it's always been 5 games. It's been 4 first party or a partner, and then the partner game. What do you think, man? What additional context could you add to this, hopium that we're all enjoying right now?
Well, I like one of the mentions that Korkenstein had as far as that Project Kestrel, I believe it is, that Bethesda Online has been silently working on for some time now. Some say it could be a Starfield multiplayer game, kind of like in the vein of Star Citizen to some extent. Or it could be a licensed IP, because there are some more licensed IPs that Xbox or some of their publishers are working on currently that they haven't really announced. But it's hard to really narrow it down because there have been so many projects that technically haven't been announced by Xbox themselves. It's just been more so like breaking news from like Jez or Special Nick or Tom Warren or something like that talking about these projects. And I'm kind of under the impression that anything is possible when it comes to this. Like the fact that Square is trying to make a better relationship with Xbox as far as to make up for their loss in sales all these years, just doing exclusives on one box where the numbers aren't quite matching up what they would consider enthusiastic. Final Fantasy VII, the original remake launch, that one did well. But then again, that was on PS4 and PC, I think at launch or pretty close to it. But with 16 and what was it, Rebirth or something like that, not being available on PS4, that cut off 50% of their player base. Like there's still a ton of people playing on their PS4 as opposed to the PS5 right now. So I could see Square finally making that jump for Final Fantasy 16. Now I think Final Fantasy 7, that third part, will be when we get it on Xbox. That could be a couple of years down the road, but there's a couple of other oddball ones that I think could be potentially that fourth block, because while Expedition 33 is another developer or it's not a first party studio, there are some partner deals that one particular partner deal with Kojima that wouldn't surprise me if it made an appearance there. Like I know we got Death Stranding on console, much like Silent Safer mentioned earlier. Who's to say that Death Stranding 2 is a Sony exclusive? I mean, considering Kojima just bought back the rights to it, he's not worried about this exclusive game. He's more worried about, all right, how can I pay the bills to keep my studio open so I don't have to worry about laying off people and whatnot? So putting Death Stranding in that showcase could be a possibility, or we finally get OD, although I think he made mention that Death Stranding would be followed by OD, which will be followed by whatever that other project that Sony is paying for that's like part movie, part game, which makes sense because it seems like they're going all in on movies instead of gaming. But I wouldn't be surprised if Kojima makes an appearance, like whether it's Death Stranding 2 or OD.
I'm thinking the OD makes more sense. Like he already did his thing with Death Stranding 2, the beach. We have no idea what he's doing. He was filming the guy that, I would say Silent Hill. No, from Alan Wake.
Mhm.
He was filming him. So and he was in the studio. Look, this whatever it is OD is going to be, I think it's going to be an anthology. You guys
Yeah.
are horror guys, so you understand. When it was first announced, they said they were working with the Avengers of horror, which
Mhm.
tells me it's going to be a bunch of directors with a particular episode. I mean, how long is the episode? 30 minutes? Is it going to? Because remember, it's a game, so it's got to be a little while. Maybe they're 3 hours in length, 3 to 4 hours per. But it sounds like they are working on an anthology, and we have not seen anything since. So
Yeah.
that kind of works out. I mean, it's a new game. We know about it, but we haven't seen anything.
Yeah. But as far as like something that's unannounced, not officially on their part, I'm leaning more towards the Bethesda title. But there's also like, well, Contraband they've already announced, but they haven't announced anything for like the Project Dragon, which I think was the IO Interactive.
Yep.
Was it? Well, did they officially announce Project Tatanka? I know that kind of got shelved, or maybe it was canceled.
No, they have never said anything about
No.
that. That was rumored for quite a minute. But you're talking about the Battle Royale.
Battle Royale Halo.
So
yeah, no, that got like full on shelved, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of those things where they missed the Battle Royale window, right?
Yes,
Like if you
I
come
agree.
out now, it's way too saturated.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's just still so much other stuff that Xbox has had their hand in. Now with Ubisoft taking whatever nosedive Yves seems to be implementing, it's almost like he's sabotaging the company to buy it back cheaper on $1, which seems foolish to me. But I guess if he wants to get rid of Tencent to some extent, maybe this is his ultimate plan. But it would have been nice for it to be Splinter Cell. But with Shadows getting pushed back, I doubt Splinter Cell is that game. I know it's been off again, on again, numerous times in the background. Even talking to Ironside, it was like, yeah, the show is going to come out before the movie. And he told me that like many months ago. And I was like, a show? I didn't know that there was actually a show being worked on and stuff. So we'll see that before we see a Splinter Cell game. But then again, depending on how well the show does, then maybe Yves will get his act together and push harder to get Splinter Cell the game.
By that time, someone else will own Ubisoft because they are just not doing the right thing.
Yeah, but there's endless possibilities. But I'm kind of hoping if Bethesda is working on a multiplayer version of Starfield, I'm hoping it's that, because then I not that I need to have any more games to build up a backlog, but I think that would be another game that I pretty much know life for a while and have like days instead of hours in. So, fingers crossed. We'll see.
Well, look, again, great points all around. Infinite Umbra. Let's get your hot take on this. I was just looking at my phone, which I don't like to do during the show because you're a mod, Fuzzy. So if anyone's out of line, send them to the ban house. It's fine.
Strike them down.
Strike them down. You shall not pass. And then lights. Colt Eastwood did a Gaming Weekly video, which he's been doing, which I like. I like the content. And he says it says huge leak. And he has Final Fantasy VII, but he also has a picture of Gears of War. And in the title, it says, huge leak, Final Fantasy VII and 16 on Xbox, Gears 1 and 2 remake, Unreal Engine 5. So, again, Unreal Engine 5, that's your jam. We've been hearing about the Marcus Phoenix trilogy for years. I heard that it was being played internally. We've all heard that. I think the original leak for that came the way of Xbox Era, that was Special Nick that I think broke that originally. That was years ago. It makes sense to get that done in Unreal Engine 5. I'm sure that it could have been used as a test bed for what they're doing with Gears E-Day, kind of get them used to the engine. Because listen, there's no one better in the industry outside of the people that make Unreal Engine than the coalition. That's just a fact. And I mean, could that be the mystery magical tour 5th game? I don't know. But all I know is that there is excitement brewing. There is conversation being had by people in the know, like Jez Corden, like John from Xbox Era. You're starting to get people out there from other publications talking about it. Let's get your thoughts, your theories, and your hot takes into what the mystery 4th game, and do you think there's going to actually be a 5th game announced?
Well, going by what was said by Jazz and others, like I said, that makes me think maybe it'll be more than just one other game. He says bigger than it might be bigger than what he thought. So it's a possibility. If Colts, I mean, I like his, I don't know if it's a theory or if he just knows, but Final Fantasy 16 and 7 coming over a remake or whatever, that would be good. That would be finally, they land on Xbox. It wouldn't matter to me as much. I've played through them already. Well, at least 16. So, but it'll be finally to, Square would have bent the knee and got over here with those games like they should have years ago. So that would be dope if that happens. Speculation wise, I think I look at, because it's a developer direct, I tend to go to, well, what developers are they working with right now outside of even theirs that makes sense to show here? And okay, so they're not showing Avowed, they're not showing Outer Worlds 2. Those are this year. I don't know. I don't think Fable would be shown here, and I'm not even sure if Fable is going to land this year. And then I think, okay, well, what about like Contraband? We haven't heard about Contraband in a long time, right? Like it's been years. Literally, we haven't seen any gameplay, nothing. Like, so maybe Contraband makes sense. And then I thought, well, I was on the show yesterday, myself and Danny, and I said, what do you think it could be? And he said, well, you do have the remake for Oblivion. I was like, oh, yeah, that's true. Right. And I think it's another one, actually, that's being remade. I can't remember what it was.
Well, they said Fallout 3 was being remade also.
That's what it was.
That was the other one from the court case. But you know what? Interesting. Let me just add some context to what you're saying. Here's another thought and theory. If you count the underscore, which is what they use in the spaces, Undead Labs is 11 characters. And there was a rumor, you remember, that Xbox wanted to release State of Decay 3 in 2025, and it was crowded, and it was rumored to be pushed into next year. What if it's not?
I love the fact that we're literally going down to like, if you measure the spaces between
that's exactly that's what speculation sounds all about, right?
I love it. It's amazing. I
pulled out the
love
ruler.
the sleuthing that's happening. It's amazing.
It's like the Phil Shelf type of thing. Oh, what's on Phil's shelf?
Yeah.
Of which I still.
Oh, you know something? Dead Pixel. This is my favorite pick of the show. Dead Pixel, welcome to the party, brother. He says the Wu-Tang Clan game. Holy crap! That would be, freaking amazing, because that has been rumored to be in development with the help. I mean, they're working straight on it themselves with the music. You're probably going to get new music from Wu-Tang Clan, which who doesn't need that in their lives? I certainly do. That is a great pick.
I mean, imagine him, they're showing all these games. You seeing Doom, and you seeing him slicing these things up and ripping and tearing, and then you see South of Midnight with the platforming and her clearing out this gunk, and you see Expedition 33 all classy and French, and they doing what they do, and all of a sudden you hear, "Yeah, baby, I like it raw." Like, imagine that just popping up in the speakers.
That would be amazing, dude.
You're right. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that just popping up?
That would be that'd be one for the books. There'd be no doubt about that.
Oh man, that would be special. That would be special. I listen. I'm all for that. I hope it happens. I don't know if that would be the case, but I am not against that whatsoever. I like it. You know what I would think? that makes some sense to me though, and kind of trying to ground my thoughts. I think Silk Song makes lots of sense, right? Because we haven't seen it. It hasn't dropped at all. Silk Song makes a lot of sense. Dream wise, I would love for Splinter Cell to be the case. Hell, I would have loved for them to have gotten Splinter Cell to IP actually, but and I mean, I like all you guys' thoughts on it. Replaced makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that sure does. Yep.
It's been they announced Replaced in 2021. We've seen it being worked on this past year. People got a chance to play it. Paris, other people in the community. I know. I think Kay got a chance to play it. You know, they talked about it. Replaced has to be about ready by now, right? You would think. So maybe Replaced might be the game. I think that makes some sense, right? It's kind of, and I think it's more grounded in that belief, and or at least in that realm of something that makes sense that kind of could possibly be a drop. You know what I mean? Right then and there on that day. So mines would be, and I had Oblivion. Like I was going with Danny on that one. He mentioned it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Or maybe we can get both. I'm not against it. You know,
why shouldn't you be a greedy gamer? Why not?
Absolutely. Yeah, I already said I like it raw. No, let me stop. Yeah, man, I'm all for that. Imagine. I mean, the way they're talking about it, some people are kind of hyping it. It makes it sound like you said it could be more than just 4 shown, right? It could be a 5th game shown. So I don't know. And some people are saying that Aaron Greenberg had mentioned it's an unannounced game.
Yes.
Is that in fact the case?
Well, again, if you just go back on the wording, it is a new. I think John Clark even specifically pointed out that it's a new IP from a studio. Again, we got a couple of really good picks here. Daniel Lawson says Sunset Overdrive 2. Yes, that would be pretty dope because Sunset Overdrive 1 was freaking amazing. Double K24, who's been a channel member for 43 months, says, Boom and Friends, what's up? What if it could be 1 versus 100?
Oh, man.
That
bring
would
back
be
that
dope,
360
dude.
nostalgia too. I see. But but speaking of Sunset Overdrive, doesn't I thought Sony
Okay,
had that
so
now.
the IP itself is owned by Sony because they purchased Insomniac Games. Publishing on Sunset Overdrive 1 and 2, Microsoft holds the cards. That is why there has not been a Sunset Overdrive on PS5. And if there is, Xbox is going to have to get a version of that. And if they decide to make a 2, Xbox holds the publishing rights for it.
Okay, that makes some sense then. I mean, if it works for Microsoft, I mean, you see their strategy. It's just up to Sony. And Sony's like, no. But I mean,
Negative Zero says the return of Scalebound.
Yeah.
Oh my, that would again bring
I
down
don't
the
see
house.
it happening. I mean, I would like it.
I don't know about
just
you
to
guys.
get it
I
out
want to
of the
ride a
way.
dragon listening to headphones. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Nah, I don't need to ride around on a dragon with Dre beats on. You go ahead and put that right back on the bookshelf. I don't need that.
Oh, hey.
I've seen a few people already mention, which I forgot was the Double Fine game, the Project Kiln.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Double
that.
Fine is
They're working on multiple projects though. Got to remember, see, Kiln is it's like the way it was described was like a fighting game with clay pots. Listen, Double Fine does weird things. Tim that's his bag, and usually his weird things work out really well, right? That's Tim Schafer. That's him and the company in a nutshell. But they were working on a few other unannounced projects. That's a great pick as well. That could actually show up.
Yeah, I mean, we had that, man. We talked about that way back, and we haven't heard a thing about it since. So that would be something. I feel like the ones that seem more grounded that could happen to me would be Silk Song or Replaced. I would just throw that out there.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like those two would make the most sense. And I'm thinking, I mean, you all mentioned the Marcus Phoenix collection. I'm kind of like silent. I'm on like my brother Silent Cypher on this one. I'm kind of like, they've been talking about that all. I don't feel like that's actually happening at the almost at this point. I'm feeling like it's like a pipe dream. It's like, man, where is it at?
It's It's like Half-Life 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
Sure. It's coming out. Sure.
It'd be out here. Yeah.
it's always there. It's just never happening, right? Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. The Marcus Phoenix collection, I would love for it to happen because I would love to see everything in Unreal Engine 5. But and for them to give us a taste, before we get E-Day and everything, like that'd be dope. I just don't know, man. It seems like it's just not happening. I don't know. But hopefully it does. Get that over with finally. Canuck had mentioned Towerborn. That's another one that I could see possibly because that's been a while for that. They had the alpha or whatever for it and everything, or beta, I guess. Early access. I think it's a better word to say. So that could be a case too. How many games does Xbox officially have coming this year? We got Outer Worlds 2.
It's 6. It's 6 games if you count Call of Duty at the end of the year. You have the Outer Worlds 2. That's 2. You have Avowed. You have South of Midnight. You have Doom. I'm missing one that's in there.
Six is already solid as hell for a year.
Yeah, and again, if you add an Oblivion to that, if you add a potential Gears of War, Marcus Phoenix collection, that would be 7 and 8. I mean, again, we're coming into a realm. I know we talked about this before, gentlemen. And Umbra specifically because we still want to hear your points. They could logistically have a game per month. Like they have so many studios making games that they could have one first-party game per month until the end of the year and still have a ton of stuff to release for 26, which is going to be supposedly the release of these two consoles.
Yeah, that's true. Smart money for me. I feel like the safest ones again would be replaced or possibly Silksong. It's just been so long with those. We clearly have proof of work of those being moved forward. Especially I guess replaced more so than Silksong, but I know these Aussies out there at Cherry. What's the name of it? I forgot the developer's name. Something Cherry. I know they're doing their thing out there outside of fighting these creatures that they have to deal with in Australia. So I'm sure that's coming to us. I don't know what's up with Australia, man. Every time I see something, I'm like, yeah, I'm not moving out or going to visit. Nothing. It feels like I'm just going to get dragged into the sea or something. I don't know. But some creature is out there in the mist or something. But I just feel like it could be Silksong makes a lot of sense to me. Splinter Cell sounds like a dream to me that I would love to be real. And I think Replace just makes sense. They have to have it come out at some point. And I don't see why it would be the summer for it. Get it out there now. Why not? Right? I think a drop for that just makes a lot of sense.
Well, 2 picks here that come the way of King James 313. Now this is salty. This is slanderous. If this happens and you are a PlayStation mainstay, I reach out to me on DM. I'll tell you how to go into witness protection because you're going to need it. He says the mystery game is Spider-Man 1 and 2 on
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the meltdown?
It would be a bloodbath. It's 100% not going to happen. But just for shits and giggles, could you imagine if the 5th game, we got one more for you. Let's welcome in the head of Insomniac Games, and he walks out, and you're like, what's happening here? And he's wearing a Spider-Man undies or something like that.
Now you Xboxers too can have the swagger of a black teen.
That would anger so many people.
Oh, dude,
it would be amazing.
You've heard me say break the internet before. This would just
do it.
This would be the one.
Tim Dog would change his name to Nintendo Dog or whatever. He would just quit. He'd just leave the platform.
Leave our brother alone.
Yeah, he would leave gaming. So look, both Mass Hole 1977 and Will Broke Boy Lewis said the 5th game could be, just for me, a banjo game. I'm crying live on camera. I'm gonna just start tearing. You're gonna be able to I'm gonna be memed out the ass if that happens. But there's another one over here. Jagger Blaze Alex. Welcome to the program, brother. He says marketing rights for GTA 6 at the end of the show where they show a trailer. And remember, why there's smoke where he is now flaming potentially right here. He's fanning the flames. Remember a couple of weeks ago, there was supposed to be a trailer for GTA, the second trailer. That somehow got held up. Did it get held up because Microsoft dropped a bank at the doorstep of Take-Two? I don't know, but that is another. Again, these are all speculation. A lot of these things are just so far-fetched. If anyone's from Xbox is listening, they're probably laughing their balls off right now. But this is what we do, right? We come here, we hang out. We got 1,210 people watching live. That is bonkers to have that many people watching live across multiple platforms. And again, we are incredibly grateful for you guys and gals hanging out with us. We are at the 90-minute mark. I think we've said everything we can say. Obviously, the 23rd is in a couple of weeks. I, like John and of course, and Jez, if I have some connections. Even if I knew what the games were, I would never leak it because I am not in a position or do I feel comfortable, ruining something so special. So again, just word of advice, folks. If you hear something and you're in the know, keep it to yourself because again, this is going to be special. Again, it could be nothing, right? It could be just a game like Towerborn. I don't think so. I think that the fourth game and potentially fifth game are going to be special. I think Xbox is really good. And Tina Amini, listen, what could you say about that woman? She is by far one of the best pickups that they've had in years. And ever since she left IGN to come to Xbox, her showcases that she leads the charge on have been epic every single time. And I expect no less. And again, Xbox likes to be cheeky, which is what they're doing by not showing the fourth game and potentially leaving a fifth game slot there, but not. Right? So again, overhype it, underhype it, however you want to approach it. I don't think that if you are a gamer, how you could not be excited about what Xbox is doing is literally beyond me, folks. Like honestly, you just obviously don't care about Xbox so much that even when they are hitting on all cylinders, it means nothing to you. To me, that's just bonkers. When PlayStation puts out a great game, I'm running over to my PlayStation 5 to play it and turn it on. When Nintendo is about to launch a new console, I'm going to buy 3. One for me, one for Mrs. Boom, one for Tyler, and I'm probably buying a bunch of launch titles. When Xbox does it right, and they are doing it right, folks, how could you not get excited? And more so in 2025, where people are literally having to cut the cord and services just to put bread on the table, how could you not be subscribed to Game Pass? Like, really? Like, even if you still pay your $20 and you're not frugal and you don't go to CD Keys and all these other places where you could logistically get these services for under $9 a month if you look, and you can find them right now, even at $20, just do the math at $76.43 for the 6 games that we know are going to be first party this year. And that blows your $240 what you're going to spend out of the water. And on top of all of the second, third party, and indie stuff that's going to be in Game Pass in 2025, I don't know how you're not signed up. You're just a straight up hater if you're going to try and go up against that. That is just in madness. But let me just catch up on the super chats here. We have a couple more. We have Sith Lord drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, TV, Xbox bad. TV, movies, no games, PlayStation good. Yes, that is exactly how it is with the gaming media. Because again, you go back to CES 2025, they brought a car, they brought anime, they brought a couple of films, they announced a couple of TV series. That's great. They're all going to be awesome. I think they're going to be great transmedia IPs. But there were no games. And there was not one negative article from any of the big suggesting that PlayStation is dead. I'm just saying. Nino Vistic, our generous friend, all the way from Hawaii. Aloha to you and the fam, as always. And once again, folks, he has gifted 1 Double Barrel Gaming membership. That is incredibly kind of you, sir. We definitely appreciate that. Will Broke Boy Lewis drops a very generous additional $5 super chat. And he goes on to say, just a reminder, late January, day 1 Game Pass releases is Citizen Sleeper 2, Sniper Elite Resistance, which looks dope, and Eternal Strands, which looks really freaking good. And of course, Korkenstein said the same thing to kind of try and, one up, poor Will Broke Boy Lewis. He gets his points stolen on a regular basis, but we know who said it first. Actually, you won today, Will, so thank you so much. And Korkenstein, you didn't steal any of his points, shockingly enough, because you're usually good for that. Tim the Sorcerer, who's been a channel member for a whopping 30 months. Brother, that is very kind of you. He says, what if it's Gears of War E-Day and it launches this year? Happy gaming weekend, everyone. 2025 is already an amazing year to be a gamer. I mean, if it's Gears of War E-Day, again, another internet breaking situation, that would just blow people out of the water. I mentioned Double K24, who's been a channel member for a whopping 43 months. And of course, he said, Boom and friends, what's up? What if it could be 1 versus 100? And Phil Spencer has specifically talked about that. Now, another game that he mentioned that there is a controller out for, which makes no sense, but you can buy a controller for it. What if they announced that all of the Guitar Hero games are backwards compatible, or announce a new Guitar Hero? Because Phil Spencer mentioned it. I don't think the CEO of Microsoft Gaming mentions a game that there isn't some interest in bringing back. And I have every one of those discs, and I'd be more than happy to, again, could you imagine if every one of those Guitar Hero games are in your Game Pass service, just dropped? I got that new guitar from PDP. I bought it. Please let me use it, ladies and gentlemen. Showtime Reezy drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, secret game will be a shadow drop of Mixtape. That's interesting because Mixtape looks dope. That is by who's making that game? I think it's the people that do Stranger Things. Not Stranger Things. What is a game that's like? I'm trying to think of the name.
You're talking about Life is Strange?
Yes, Life is Strange. Yes, that looks really, really good. That's a great pick, Showtime Reezy. Will Broke Boy Lewis. Let's see. Drops an additional $5 super chat and says, new rumor today, Nate the Hate, who's been wrong more times than he's right, says that Halo Master Chief Collection and Flight Sim 2024 are coming to PlayStation and Switch 2 this year. PS fanboys running with it. You know what? Listen, Halo Master Chief Collection is not Halo Infinite. It's an old game. Flight Simulator, I mean, is anybody really going to cry if it goes over to PlayStation and Switch? Not really. These things are happening, ladies and gentlemen. Do I think Halo needs to be on these consoles? I really don't. I'm going to be honest, but I'm not running Xbox. And the Master Chief Collection, if I'll put it this way, any PlayStation fanboy is running with this and they're getting and they're getting excited, they're probably a clown, because they have been saying that Halo sucks anyway. Now all of a sudden you guys and gals want it. Like I'm curious how that's going to work, but we'll see. Daniel Lawson has become a new channel member. Daniel, thank you so much, not only for joining us today, but for the generosity. We definitely appreciate it. Let's get everyone out of here, folks, as we close out with 1,215 people watching live. That is it's a good way to start 2025. That is for sure. Silent Cypher, let's sell the brand of the Xbox International podcast, where you and a bunch of the guys talk about, pretty much everything Xbox. We get a chance to see Crazy Lou do some Crazy Lou-like things, and it's always fun. And, of course, If you are someone that speaks predominantly Spanish, there is a version in Espanol. So we want to talk about that. Where could people check out those shows, subscribe to them, and more importantly, follow you, kind sir, on social media?
Well, thank you for having me again. It's great to be back with you guys. Nice little holiday break, but it's great to be back here talking gaming again with all of you. Umbra, shout out to you, buddy. Great to see you this morning. Glad that you could jump in here also.
You as well, brother.
As far as where you can find me, hopefully you'll find me on Xbox International on Wednesday nights again soon. Life happened and my kids got a bunch of after school activities, so I've been absent for a minute, but make sure that you stop by, say hi to those guys. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard on Wednesdays, and also catch Boom Show on Wednesday as well. We share the same airspace, but like I always say, whether you catch us live or you catch Boom live, whatever works, as long as you're enjoying the content at some point, that's all we care about. And of course, you can catch them on Friday on Xbox International and Espanol, as Boom mentioned. Same time frame for that one as well. This evening, I'll be hanging out with Fuzzy and Fee, and I think Matt. Is Matt going to be there too? I think, yeah. So we'll be doing Fright Nights with Ferocious Fee this evening, talking Old 37, which has Kane Hodder in it. If the name's not familiar to you, Jason many times over the years. So make sure that you stop by, check out the show this evening, hang out with us, and talk about that movie. If you haven't seen it, you can still jump on and watch it on Tubi for free also. And I think it's also on Vudu for free. So if you want to watch beforehand, do your homework so you can join in on the conversation, feel free to. Would love to see you in the chat. But yeah, I think that's going to be about it for me. I'm going to be out for a couple days this weekend, and hopefully I'll catch you all soon playing some games.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to get back to Call of Duty, because I'm trying. I just hit the 5th tier for maxing out the level. Yeah, prestige for the 5th time. Nice. So I want to get to 10, and I'm going to be very proud. I haven't prestiged in decades, so this is a big deal for me. And the new skins have been so cool. Like, I'm running around as a plastic army man. It's freaking awesome. I know people will get mad, like, why is there a unicorn running around? Listen, so what? Who cares? Shoot the unicorn and keep it moving. That's what I say. But, look, real quick, we could probably go for another 3 hours with the breaking news that I have here in front of me. Hazardor Gaming, which, by the way, is a premier member of the community. That guy is sleuth number 1, and he just dropped 3 tweets in a row where and again, this is Nate the Hate's been busy. I don't know the guy. His stuff, he has good connections. Nate the Hate, has he been wrong? Sure. You know what, I've been wrong a lot as well. So listen, take it with a grain of salt. He says, as per Nate the Hate, Halo Master Chief Collection and of course Flight Simulator coming to PS5. There is some talk about the announcement for Final Fantasy VII Remake is imminent for Xbox. He also talks about Gears of War Collection is planned for 2025, and it will launch day and date on PlayStation 5. Again, it's one of those things that I don't like it, but I understand it. Give me the Gears of War Collection in my service. Great. Charge $76.43 for PlayStation players. Again, last year I would have been like, no, don't do that. Now I'm like, who gives a shit? Honestly, I'm not running the company. It is what it is. If PlayStation gamers are going to play Gears of War, just remember, especially if it's some of those troll-like humans out there, they said Gears of War sucked for years, and now they're going to be racing to play it. I have receipts, folks, and my receipt bin is pretty filled. But there's also more information regarding the Oblivion remake. Apparently, it's going to be launched in June of 2025. So there's a lot here, folks. There is a lot here.
Yeah, there's a lot. It seems to be Final Fantasy based as far as what we're seeing, huh?
Yep. Yeah, again, Ecstasies also says that the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy 16 Remake is coming this year, and those announcements are imminent. He's saying that as well. So there you go. There's a lot, bro. There's a lot here. Again, we got to get on out of here. So Korkenstein, let's sell the brand. Now, listen, we know that you have the Game Pass show, which of course is Game Pass Gumbo. Is there any update to when you're going to bring back the other Xbox show? And I think this year would be a good year for it.
Yeah. So actually, I believe we're going to try and go live Sunday. We were running the where we gave away 40 controllers. Well, technically 41
great. Good
controllers.
job, man. Yeah.
So we did that on the Xbox subreddit. Now, since all of them out of those 40 people or 41 people, I believe on Sunday we are going to give away the 1 terabyte Xbox Series S. So we'll announce that live. I think we're trying to plan it for Sunday. We're kind of in the logistics of with everything going on. I got my house. That's why the room in the back is all messy. I got renovating happening here, and then with the fires, I'll see what's possible. But we're looking at Sunday. I'm bringing it back. New year,
Nice.
new show. Follow me on Twitter, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. I'll be announcing on all of those. If you guys want to come check that out, the Korkenstein. You guys can follow me there or just search Korkenstein. I think I'm the only one. Game Pass Gumbo, we might be coming back this Saturday. Well, we'll also be talking about the Dev Direct tomorrow. I will actually be on WebDave this Sunday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Come check us out. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, this Saturday, hopefully Game Pass Gumbo, and then this Sunday in the morning, Xbox Talks and WebDave in the PM.
Good stuff, brother. Can't wait for the second for you to come make your big comeback with the other Xbox show, because I think this year you guys are going to have a ton to talk about, and having multiple shows is always a good thing for sure. Definitely for channel growth, but great to have you here, brother. Great that it's coming back in a big way. Yeah. Fuzzy Belvedere, let's sell the brand. But of course, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to racing, there's no better place than Fuzzy Belvedere's YouTube channel. We always say that it's the best place for anything and everything in the racing genre. But the missus, his wife, has a horror show, which will be live tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, called Fright Nights with Ferocious Fee. Obviously, we want to see both of their channels succeed. So if you can and you want to be kind, please sub both of their channels. Fuzzy, tell everyone where they can do that. Drop the link into the chat. And more importantly, where could people follow both of you on social media?
Well, as always, thank you for having me on. This was an awesome show to talk about our excitement for the Developer Direct later on this month. I mean, Xbox is killing it for 2025. If you're not excited for the games that are coming, I don't know what you're doing in this hobby. But aside from that, always love hearing your guys' take. It's always great when we have Umbra make a special guest appearance as well. Glad we had Silent Cypher back and Korkenstein back tonight as well. For those that want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on social media, pretty much everywhere except for Facebook. Just do a search for Fuzzy_Belvedere or just Fuzzy Belvedere. You'll be able to find me. Links in the chat for both my channel as well as my wife's channel. Like Silent Cypher said earlier, Old 37 is the movie of the night. Check it out on Tubi, and then come watch us on YouTube at 6 p.m. tonight for Fright Night with Ferocious Fee. We're gonna have a good time talking about this movie, and it's one to definitely check out and be in a conversation, or you can check out afterwards and see if our reviews are worthy of you checking it out, type of deal. A lot of times we may not always agree, but a lot of these movies are fun, even if you're just looking to kick back on like a Friday night, have some popcorn, and enjoy time with friends and family and stuff. But everybody be safe, have a great weekend, get in as much gaming as you can, and for those that are in the path of disaster, be safe out there, and please pray for those, or send out good vibes for those. So hopefully, maybe some wind changes can, fix some things, or hopefully make things a little bit more manageable. But man, it's a great time to be a gamer. Enjoy this hobby. See y'all on Monday. Thanks again.
Absolutely. Infinite Umbra. Let's sell your brand. The Fix. Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you and Daniel McGee break down the newest gaming news. And of course, it's not just about gaming news. There is wrestling talk. There are movies and film. And quite frankly, there is a lot going on. As a matter of fact, if you are someone that is hoping that James Gunn saves the DCEU, the Creature Commandos just canonized Ghost Rider as being a real character in that universe, because the last episode they make mention of Dr. Phosphorus looking like Ghost Rider. So holy shit, are you kidding me? This is great. Maybe we'll even one day get a DC versus Marvel. That would be dope. But where can people subscribe to your YouTube channel? But more importantly, follow you on social media.
Now is the morning of our discontent.
There you go.
You know, it is something, man. It had been a while since I had a chance to chop it up with some of you fellas, especially you, Cypher. It's been a minute, man. We still got that Halo 3 table read coming up sometime soon, everybody. Keep your eyes crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I was giving y'all just a little dash of a taste right there, you know, getting my brute voice in order right now. Fools, they ordered me to do it. I'm getting there, you know, I'm getting my voice back in order for it. But listen, shout out to you, Boom, of course, for doing what you do, brother. Coming into the new year, hoping that you can make, you know, new strides in the subscriptions that you do, because I've said it many times, and I do mean what I say when I say it. You know, you are authentic in getting your numbers up like that, and then actually talking about what you love. And I think more people should be supporting you for that reason. And then to all you good fellas, I hope that you all have a great year here this year. By the way, and Fuzzy, what are you guys going to be talking about tonight with the misses and such? What movie would it be about?
Old 37. Check it out on Tubi.
Okay, Old 37, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what is that about? Can you give us a little idea?
Ambulance driver that might not have saving people in his best interest.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Because I remember one time I tuned in, you all were watching like some type of a B movie version or something like that or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, what's this? All right, okay. But yeah, I definitely have to come through. As far as where you guys can find me, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite, you'll find me either way. That's on Twitter, Blue Sky. I have to put some more social spots up, I guess. Maybe Facebook, but Facebook is about to become an outlaw zone too. This is kind of crazy out here nowadays. Yeah. And of course, like Boom mentioned, the Fix, that's at 8:00 Eastern on Thursdays. Come by and check us out. Tonight we have, of course, the Infinite podcast with myself, Risky for the Biscuit. That blue number, Dante Moody, and at times Garuda Intruder when he can make it. That is at 7:00 Eastern tonight. So if you guys are free, come by and say hi. And thank you all in the chat for the love today, man. I felt special.
Well, you are special, sir, and we definitely appreciate you rolling through. Obviously, you know, you work midnight, so you know it's easier for this one than the other show. But we know obviously we'll get you back on Tuesday. Who knows what we'll be talking about? But real quick before we get out of here, Oscar Wheat drops a very generous $5 super chat and says he seems to think that what if the mystery game is The Last of Us multiplayer? I mean, that would be. That's a little slanderous there, fella. And Showtime Reezy, not to be outdone, has breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. He said the secret games will be Concord and ET remastered. So there you go. Oh, my God.
Both massive failures.
Yeah, there you go. In the garbage dump. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Over 1,200 people watching live across Twitch, across X or Twitter, and, of course, YouTube. This has been great. What a great show. Great panel of who I consider to be extensions of my family. My brothers here got a chance to hang out and drop their knowledge. It was a lot of fun to get into. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. If you before you get on out of here, hit the like button. And if you're feeling extra generous because it's a great Friday, share it out on the socials. Let people know about Double Barrel Gaming. Mrs. Boom and I would be greatly appreciative of that. Of course, a big thank you once again to all of the super chats. And I will close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me, folks. Hopefully, one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of Breakfast with Boom.